Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Trinity show. So in terms of recording this video, I just finished up season 2 of the Apothecary Diaries. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but like I mentioned in that video's description, I really love that anime. Like, that's going to be a go-to comfort show, except for like the second half of season 2. Like, if you know, you know. I was tearing up, I was chuckling, it was a whirlwind of stuff. It was a whirlwind. Like, I've talked about this before. I'm not very good with endings. And, like, I know we're getting a 3rd season of the Apothecary Diaries, but, like, I won't be able to watch that again. And, like, my thing with endings is that, like, I need to be able to watch the ending so that I know how it ends before I continue, you know? Okay, let me rephrase. Not necessarily so that I can continue, but just so, like, I know how it ends and I can just rewatch and then not watch the ending again. So, yeah, I really like Apothecary Diaries. Like I said, it's going to be a comfort show except for, like, the second half of season 2. But because, and again, I know that we're going to have a season 3, but, like, I need something else for me out here. So with all that said, we're gonna dive into this again. I added 4 new titles, 3 of which I've already watched, but I think are deserving of a rewatch. And then 1 of which is gonna be a new watch. So I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, you already know which one I'm watching, but I don't know yet, so you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out me finding out. Okay, and like I said, I think in previous videos, I can choose, like, if I choose one and I'm not feeling it in the moment, I can choose a second little slip. I'm not actively choosing. I can choose one. If I'm not feeling it, I can set it aside, set it down, choose a second one, but after that second one, I have to choose between the 2. So in this part, I don't cut just because I don't want it to seem like I'm picking and choosing, you know? Okay, this one's a long one. Okay, this one's in my hand. Snow White with Red Hair. So I can watch that on Hulu / Disney Plus. I'm gonna set this one aside. I'm not entirely sure. That one flew out. I'm not gonna look at it. Unless that one was like meant to be or something. Watch it be like, Magic Knight Earth. Okay. Do I want to watch Magic Knight Earth? Or do I want to watch a new one? You know, I'm not entirely sure, just because for this one video, I am going to choose a 3rd one for this one video. But just because I don't think I'm feeling like Snow White with Red Hair, but I also don't know if I'm feeling like Magic Knight Earth. Maybe I can use a comfort one. Maybe it's Halloween. Okay, I'm gonna stick this one back. You know what? I think I know what I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna pull that one out, actually. So, if I can find that one. I like just put it in too. And that's the thing that I kind of like about this, is that I know I've said like, oh, I have to choose between the 2, but part of it too is that if I'm really, okay, here it is. If I'm really feeling like something for these, then that's what I want to go with, you know? Like, it's kind of like being a mood reader. It's like being a mood watch. You just watch something you're in the mood for. And also too, what I can do is I can record a second video of these, and I misspelled that. I can record a second one at the same time and watch a new anime at the same time I do this one. It'll be a lot of work, but let me pause before I get into this. Okay, actually, let me check something real quick. Just because, oh, I realized I could have done that. Forgot to put that on for this video, and the earrings. You can tell how out of it I am, but I'll wear that for the rest of this video. But I also forgot to say happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. However, because that's what sparked me to pull out this one because it's Halloween. Happy Halloween. I decided to pick up Trinity Blood, or pick out Trinity Blood, I should say, for my anime watch. And again, this is just going to be another rewatch. I really like this anime. This is one of my favorites. But again, I need to be in the mood for it, which is also why I'm picking this one up, because I always say there are some things, books, movie shows that I need to be in the mood for, and I need to be in the right mental space for. And since I'm in the mood for this one, we're going for it. So yeah, I'm gonna stop recording right here because I have to do a couple of chores, but I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so now we're appropriately back for Halloween. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna watch the intro first time around and watch the outro first time around, and then once they change it, I'll watch the new intro and outro. Do I want to make this video spoiler free or no? I'm gonna try to make it spoiler free, or at least try to keep the spoilers vague. So, and this is just going based off of the anime, not the manga. I have read volume 1 and maybe 2 of the manga. But yeah, I've not read the manga, so this is going based off the anime and any anime spoilers. I will say though that this is probably like one of my favorite kind of spookier animes and intros. So, and something else I will say too is that something I've kind of noticed about myself, especially with like shows, is when I would be bouncing around like crushes or like the characters that I liked and was crushing on, when I bounced about it more frequently, it's probably because I liked Wonder Woman. I identify as pan, queer, pansexual, and usually when I would bounce, like that's not something I noticed when I was little, but like when I would bounce around liking a bunch of different male characters that were more on the feminine side, it's because I was liking one or more of the female characters, and this is definitely one of those cases. Or if I wasn't like crushing on any of the characters, that was also a good indicator that I kind of liked the female character but just didn't know it, or one of the female characters, not necessarily the FMC, the female main character, but like there was a female character that I liked. So just something that popped into my head. Also, something else I will say is that this, kind of like what I was talking about earlier where I'm not very good with endings, this is probably one where I won't watch the ending. I'll probably get close to the ending, but I probably won't watch the ending. Let me look that up. Let's see. Right. Okay. I think that's why I kind of didn't like the ending for this one. Yeah. I think that's why it's just because it's open-ended. Okay. Was there going to be a season 2 of Trinity? Okay. Okay, so there wasn't any plans for a season 2, but I think I just didn't really like this ending specifically because it was more open-ended. Many volumes. Okay, so there are 12 volumes. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like 18 volumes of Trinity Blood. I'm just looking this up just because okay. Interesting. Okay, so I did look up the manga. So I did look up manga spoilers as well, just because I don't know when I'm going to get around to the manga, and by the time I do, I probably will have forgotten. But I'll probably be disappointed by the manga ending too. I'm not going to say anything though. So yeah, we're just going to watch. Like, as much as I love this anime, like, this was one of the ones where I was disappointed by the ending, kind of like what I was saying, because it's like, I don't mind open endings, or like nothing, like I don't mind when an ending isn't as definitive or definite, but like in this case, it just felt so open-ended, like nothing felt wrapped up. That's where my disappointment came from, where it's like, for me at least, for something to be open-ended, I need some things, or the main things, tied up. Like with the Apothecary Diaries with season 2, even though we are getting season 3, like with the Apothecary Diaries, you do get a lot of things that are like wrapped up. Like you do see like the progression of Jinchi and Momo's relationship, and then you kind of have the resolution with the Shi clan, but there's also some open-ended stuff that needs to. So it's like, if that was the case, like if it was something like that with what happens at the end of season 2 for the Apothecary Diaries, if it was something like that, I don't think I would have minded as much. But like, I think with this one, it was just like everything was kind of out in the open. So I think that was like my big issue with this, with the ending at least. I love this anime. How many episodes are there? 24. I'll probably get to like maybe episode 22 for this watch. We'll see. So I will say I kind of had forgotten this intro part. I remember like the narrator voice and what he says, but I forgot some of the imagery. Okay, so what I will also say is that if you need something that's kind of cathartic and doesn't show the Catholic Church as like a good guy, this is the show for you. Like, and this was coming from someone who was born and raised Catholic and didn't have a whole lot of religious trauma. This was cathartic for me. I don't have a whole lot of religious trauma, thankfully. But like, if you need something that's cathartic and doesn't show the Catholic Church as a good guy, there's like parts of it, or like there's individual members of the Catholic Church who are more good, or who try to be good. But if you need something that shows like the Catholic Church as a whole is like not the best entity, Trinity Blood. Okay, I'm about to sit down, I am sitting down. I'm about to start eating my dinner, and I don't think I've given you all a specific update for the anime. I'm about 10 minutes into the first episode. Basically after, this isn't spoilers you guys, it's the first episode. Basically after, what's his face? I'm blanking on his name, but dang it. The vampire takes over the ship and hijacks it and is leading it towards the Vatican, and if they don't release some of the vampires under like a section of the order, then he's gonna land it on the Vatican. So that's where I'm at, and I just listened to his message. But something I want to say before I continue is that for November, next month, literally like tomorrow, I will not be posting I'm gonna be taking a month off, and this is for my birthday month. Just in general, it's my birthday month, so I'm gonna give myself that month off from posting. I should rephrase. I'm gonna give myself the month off from posting the regular Friday posts. I will still do a book tag Tuesday at the end of the month, and then a monthly Thursdays, but I might do like a Friday post, and I might try to do a reading vlog. The reading vlog might end up being the Friday post for November, but as of right now, I'm going to give myself the month of November off, aside from the Book Tag Tuesday and the monthly Thursdays at the end of the month, which will be, let me check, November. So Tuesday, it would be Tuesday, November 25th, and then, yeah, Thursday, the 27th is Thanksgiving. If anything, I'll do something on Thursday the 20th, like the week before. But yeah, I am gonna just do a monthly Thursdays and a Book Tag Tuesdays. I might do a second Book Tag Tuesday since it's my birthday month, and that would be the 18th and the 25th if I do two. So we'll see if I do two. We'll see if I'm up for two. But that is the update that I have for you all right now. I'm gonna keep watching. I'll react to a little bit of it. I feel like with rewatches, I don't have much of a reaction because I've already watched it, but it's been a while since I've watched this one, so I'll try to react a little bit and kind of go from there. So we'll see. Okay, so the vampire who sent the message to the Vatican, Alfred, was his name Alfred?
But it's still so frightening.
We have information from the Inquisitorial Department. Alfred, come.
Okay, so he's Alfred. He's part of like the sect of the Rosencrantz order called the Fleur de Mal. At least I think it's a sect. Is Fleur of Rosencrantz. In Trinity Blood. I think it is. Okay. Okay, it's not, okay, so it's not a formal sect of the Rosencrantz order. Okay. But the Rosencrantz Orden is separate but more powerful. They're kind of the same thing. Vampire terrorist groups. Well, Rosencrantz isn't specifically vampire, but Rosencrantz is a more powerful one. And it can be hired, okay. It's not necessarily an official sect, but they can be hired out by Rosencrantz. Okay. Got that figured out. Also, excuse the pink while I eat my dinner. I've always, okay, so I think I was talking about this earlier, but the character that I always was kind of drawn to is Caterina Sforza, Cardinal Caterina Sforza. And I always hate it. Okay, so dynamics with this. It's kind of hard to tell at first, and it's not like explicitly said in the anime, but it's not really spoiler either. But the Pope and Cardinal Caterina Sforza, and then Cardinal, whatever his name, Cardinal and Trinity Blood. Okay, Francesco de Medici. So him and Caterina Sforza and the Pope are all siblings. They're like half siblings. And so there's that family dynamic. The Pope's the Pope, and then you have the two cardinals. I never really liked Francesco. He was just too belligerent for me. But I was always attracted to Caterina, and she was always like, with my crushes that I was talking about earlier, I was like kind of bouncing back and forth. Like at one point it was Abel, at another point it was like Father Hugh, and then at one point it was like Father Trace, and then it was like, okay, like I like Caterina, I'm just bouncing around this. So okay, so basically they're discussing bombing the Tristan, the ship that the vampire's on. This is kind of spoilery for the episode specifically, but again, not really spoilery for the whole season, for the whole show. But like at this point, timeline-wise, with the episode, the vampires already killed all the passengers, and Cardinal Francesco, he's like, hey, we just need to bomb the ship. They'll gladly die for the name of God and the Vatican and the good of humankind. He's such a fucking asshole. I hate him. It's like, I want to strangle him sometimes. I want to strangle him all the time. But like they don't know that all the passengers have already been killed and had their blood sucked dry. So is that true? Glory to anyway, I've already said it. So something else I always kind of wonder about is Jessica. She's a character in this first episode. You don't see her again after this, which is fine. But like I always kind of wondered what happened to her, because I don't think the manga would go into that, but like, did she get to be a pilot? Was she just too traumatized by the whole vampire experience to become a vampire? Did that move her towards becoming a pilot so that she could be in situations where she could help people? Like, I would kind of want to know what her endgame was. Let's see. Jessica. Blood, Jessica. Okay. Waitress. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna get much about her, so. Is Trinity Blood inappropriate? I mean, not really. That was just one of the people also asked. And then this says, parents do need to know that this mature gothic anime series is about a group of vampires about to dominate, or out to dominate, post-Armageddon civilization, which means that scenes frequently depict heavy violence involving spares, blood, and guts. That's true. So it's definitely at the very least PG-13. It's not really sexually graphic in nature, but it is very... it's not really body horror, it's just very bodily graphic in nature. It's not to the point of body horror, like I said, but bodily graphic in terms of blood, killing, stuff like that. Okay, so I'm not quite at this one line yet, but it just reminded me. So basically, like, I'm not going to get too deep into this because this is an anime watch, but basically I'm kind of open to the paranormal, just because, and it's partly because of a quote in Criminal Minds where Gideon says, if you believe in one, you have to believe in the other. And so it's like, if you believe in a good higher power, then you have to believe in a bad higher power. Not that the bad higher power is stronger than the good higher power, but like, if you believe in one, you have to believe in the other. And then there's the quote from this that Abel says, where it's like, if you believe in like the kind of food chain, not believe in the food chain, but if you look at the food chain, like, and he's referring to specifically to vampires and like that food chain, so like the food chain of this world. So you have like animals who feed on like grass and plants, and then you have humans, and then you have other animals who are predators, carnivores, who feed on other animals. You have humans who feed on animals and plants, and then you have the vampires who feed on the humans. And so like Abel's like explaining that out, and then he's like, so it's not so hard to believe that there would be something above vampires that would feed on vampires, which is a Krusnik in this world. So it's like, that's also kind of why I believe in the paranormal, where it's like, if you have certain things that you can explain with science, there's also a lot of things you can't explain with science, or that we haven't been able to explain with science yet. So that's why I'm open to the idea of the paranormal. Again, I'm not going to get too much into this just because that's not what this video is about. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I just thought of that real quick, so just wanted to share. And with this upcoming scene too, when he says that quote, or when he says that line, I think that was also part of the reason why I liked Abel. It's because Abel is very much golden retriever energy, but he can be Doberman as well, like, if you get what I mean, like with like his Krusnik form, it's like chef's kiss. But like, we mainly see his golden retriever form through most of the anime, and that's what we mainly get with this. So I think that's why I was kind of like bouncing back, but like, he's always a favorite of mine. I love Abel, so it's like that much hasn't changed, but at least like crushing on wise, that was like, okay. So I'm starting episode 2 now, and honestly, I did have to look up something real quick because I didn't know it from the last time. Or I didn't know it from like previously, or at the very least I didn't remember. But I'm not gonna say it, but I did have to look up a certain term that was used because I didn't, at the very least I didn't remember it. At the most I didn't know about it before in previous watches, so there's that. What am I working on? I'm gonna start working on some crochet. I'm working on a squid pattern. You can see 2 of the arms are done, and I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't I have more arms somewhere? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have another arm somewhere. That's weird. Anyway, I'll find it, but I'm working on the arms right now, and just while I watch, so we'll go from here. So apparently I have no idea where that 8th arm went. I have 7, 3, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, so I have 7, so I'm guessing I have to make just an actual one right now, and then go from there. What was this? Oh. So I have no idea where it went, but I'm going to work on that and watch some more Trinity Blood. Color scheme kind of works, so we're just going for it. Okay. The nice thing about this one is that it gives you like the titles like right at the beginning of the episode title. So that's the nice thing about this anime, and I remember this episode too. It's pretty sad. So yeah, gruesome but sad because there's a child involved. I'm not going to say more than that because we're on the 2nd episode, but there is a child involved. So yeah, fun times. Not fun times, but I was being sarcastic. So okay, so I just remembered another character that I really liked. I love all these characters, but just like I said before, like the romantic part kind of came and went. But the professor, like, he is 100% golden retriever vibes, like 100%. And it's like, I love a good golden retriever boy. Love it. So yeah, he was another character that I really liked. Okay, so I'm gonna put a pause real quick, and I'm gonna do a couple chores kind of earlier on in the day, in the evening, and then I'll be coming back watching some more. I started doing the arm in this color, but I need the arm like the obviously underside in the solid black, so I started doing that and made a bit of progress. So once I come back, I will continue doing this and watching Trinity Blood. This is a little bit of a sad episode. There are other sad episodes in this which I might not be able to watch, but we'll see. Again, I probably might not be able to watch the last couple of episodes, so we're just gonna watch what I can and go with it. Okay, so I'm back from the chores and we're getting back into watch. I'm about 8 minutes basically into episode 2, so that's where we're at. Okay, so I have decided to skip through a little bit of episode 2, partly because, like, it is, like I said earlier, it is a little bit of a sadder episode. It's just, I've never been super impacted by this episode, but also too, it's just like, I kind of remember a lot of it, so I'm kind of skipping to near the end, so that way it's just like wrap up and I can move on to next episodes. So we'll just kind of go with this. So yeah, fun times. We're having fun times with this show, and I mean that with all sincerity. It's just, I'm kind of tired, and it's just anyway, you know, it's been a long day. Okay, we are now on to episode 3. Let's get the skip intro. Which episode is this? Okay, I remember this episode. I'm probably gonna skip this one too. What happens at the end?
But sister,
Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna skip that one too. The nice thing about like rewatching, especially something I've watched so many times, Okay, I'm gonna kind of... Okay, this is part 2 for that one. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one too. That was like the Star of Sorrow. Episodes 3 and 4 were the Star of Sorrow parts 1 and 2. I basically remembered what happened in those. So, anyway, as I was saying, what's this one? Okay, so basically, the nice thing about like kind of doing a rewatch like this, especially something I've watched plenty of times, is I can kind of pick and choose what I'm watching here. And normally those other 2 episodes, like the Star of Sorrow parts 1 and 2, I would watch those. And they are very good Halloween autumn vibe episodes. I'm just not feeling them in this moment. And kind of like what I've said throughout this video and in other videos, like you need to watch and read what you're feeling like. So yeah, that's what we're going with today in this video. So the other thing too that I've always liked about the show is like the character dynamics and the relationships. Like looking like but 5.5 minutes into the episode, and like the dynamics between Abel and Katarina, they've known each other for a long time, which adds to it. But it's like they have the perfect friend dynamic, like chef's kiss. Also, like I always kind of shipped Abel and Noelle. Like they were like, I wanted that to work out. Oh yeah, Father Havel as well. Chef's kiss. Like the men in the show, all very attractive except for the antagonists, and all very good people again except for the antagonists. And, like we love that. I'm all for crushing on a villain, but like in this case it's like no thank you. Like in this case it's all like the good men who are like attractive, like what we need. Speaking of character dynamics, like Sister Kate and then the professor, so like chef's kiss. They are 100% like golden retriever and black cat. Like love it. Okay, so I vaguely remembered how Abel and Katarina met, like very vaguely, but it was because of like the Rose and Crazy Order like 10 years previous. I'm not gonna say much more than that because this is 5 episodes in, but like something, especially with like animes like Trinity Blood, where it's 1 season and it doesn't cover the whole manga. There's like not a lot of filler. Again, I haven't read the manga, so I don't know how much of the season is like filler, but like the impression that I got is that it's not a lot of filler. It's like there's only so much that they can do in a single season, especially when there's not a whole lot of interest in it. So it doesn't cover a lot of the lore and world building that the manga does. So I am kind of hoping to read the manga at some point, but like I said earlier, I'm probably gonna be disappointed in it. So we'll just see how it all goes. Oh, so it's kind of cute. A little bit of a spoiler, but in this scene, episode 5, 17 minutes in, Sister Esther meets the Pope, but doesn't realize that it's the Pope. So it's kind of like a cute, heartwarming scene. Let me look this up real quick because I don't want to spoil you guys more. Boy, excuse me. So like she does become aware that she meets the Pope later, but like in the moment, like it's she's just being kind, and I think that's what's so sweet about a lot of these dynamics and these characters, is that despite the Armageddon and despite everything going on in the world, like you do have some good characters and wholesome characters. Okay, so we are now on episode 6, and once I have the title, which episode is this? That's always a very cute episode to watch. Which episode is this? What episode is this? Give me the title. Give me the name. I might have to... I love it when it doesn't give me the name. Okay, I am remembering this episode, but I don't remember the name. Okay, it's finally giving me the name. Sword Dancer. Okay, is this the one where... Trinity Blood episode... I'm blanking on his name, even though they were like just talking about him. We meet in Trinity Blood. Right, Father Hugh Dewoto. Right, him. Okay, right. Okay, so a comment the professor makes has me curious. So I'm just looking. How did become men? Excuse me. Okay. 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 Not gonna say any of that because that's more manga based rather than anime based, so interesting. Okay, so like I do have to give her some grace, like kind of forgive her a little bit because she's traumatized. But at the same time, she just watched the Ephraim be killed in her church. So I would be a little bit more wary about single carriages pulled by horses in the street. Maybe that's just me. Anyway. This might be kind of weird to say, but like there are parts, like even though this is a darker anime, like when did this come out? When did Trinity? Excuse me. Okay, so 2006. So it does have like 2005, 2006. So like it does have some moments where it is a little, despite like the gorier aspect of it, it does have some slightly cheesier sides. So it's like that's a little bit entertaining despite the darkness sometimes. But yeah, we're enjoying it. I am really enjoying this again, just having something I can kind of turn my brain off to that's kind of Halloween-esque, you know. It's kind of what I needed. Okay, so Father Hugh physically and like personality wise is the kind of character I would be attracted to, especially when I was like first watching this. But I don't think we see enough of him, for me at least, to really get super emotionally attached. And also too, it's like when I was younger, still kind of today, but like something for me at least was like, if there was like any semblance of a possible romantic relationship, I was kind of less inclined to be attracted to them, or not be attracted to them, but like crush on them. Okay, so we are wrapping up this video. I have finished Trinity Blood. There were parts that I was skimming through, a couple of episodes I've skipped. I skipped like the last 2 episodes-ish. I skimmed through like some of it. But this is an anime that I will continue to have in like my favorites, like my top 10 favorites of all time. And this is one I will definitely always recommend. It's just I can't watch the ending. I'm not very happy with how it ended. So I can't bring myself to watch how it ended. There are some animes where I can watch the ending, like I can watch the end of Inuyasha. Sometimes the end of Inuyasha. And then like Yashahime I can watch the end of. And then we'll see about animes that I've yet to finish that like have potential ongoing stuff. Like if you look at Heaven Official's Blessing, there's potential for more. Looking at the Apothecary Diaries, we're getting a season 3. So there are stuff that I can potentially watch the end of, or that I can watch the end of, but this one, no go. So yeah, as I said at the beginning of this video, happy Halloween. I hope you all are staying safe today, no matter how you're celebrating. And I'll see you all in my next video, which will be near the end of October. So, or sorry, near the end of November. So I'll see you all then.